It's been over 6 years since Luigi's last haunted outing in this franchise, yet he is still the scaredy cat we all know and love. But with such a long time period between iterations in the Luigi's Mansion series, how does the third installment fare compared to the other games in the series? And how does it fare by current gameplay standards? Luigi and his buds, Polterpup, Mario, Peach, and some Toads, are invited to a fancy hotel out in the middle of nowhere, which totally doesn't sound like a trap, right? Upon getting there, the hotel personnel seem odd, and everything is a wonder to behold. How could anything go wrong? Much to everyone's surprise, come on, I know you were surprised, things take a ghoulish turn for the worse, and Luigi, along with the adorable Polterpup, must save his friends. And so begins Luigi's third journey into the spooky. Right out the gate, Luigi's Mansion 3 oozes charm. The art style is wonderful, the visuals are a pleasure to look at, and the cutscenes are so fun to watch. I was taken aback almost immediately how good the animation is in this game too. It's really hard to describe how charming this game is, but I'll do my best here. Polterpup seems to be part of the Luigi canon now because he's such a good boy, and he both helps and startles our cowardly protagonist throughout his journey. The way that Luigi stiffens up and appears to clench his butt cheeks together after being scared is hilarious. The various ghosts, especially the boss ghosts, are fun and memorable characters. All of these things add to the sheer charm in this game, and, like the trusty poltergust that Luigi wields, sucked me in completely. I couldn't help but smile and chuckle my whole way through. I loved it. Now, one minor misstep is in the game's music though. It isn't bad by any means, but, well, it just isn't memorable. Like right now as I'm speaking, I'm having a hard time thinking of any of the tracks within the game outside of the theme. You know, the one that everybody knows. Again, the music isn't bad. It just seems to fade into the background like a mischievous boo. Now, at first, I was a bit worried that the controls would be much the same as the music, if not actually bad. But after a little bit of a learning curve, I was slamming ghosts and sucking up anything that wasn't bolted to the ground. The right trigger sucks, the left trigger blows, and if you press both of them together, you do a jump or a hop basically. The Y button uses the feature to shoot plungers, which can then be sucked up and grabbed to pull or throw an object. The X button is the ghost light, and your A button is the trusty light bulb that blinds your foes. Oh, and it blinds Luigi too, because this game likes to pay attention to the little details, which all add into the charm. Anyway, back to the gameplay. Polterpup gives helpful and very cute tutorials on how to utilize the Poltergust controls, and after about 15 to 20 minutes, I was completely fine with the controls in general. Sure, there are a couple things that are a bit pesky, like when using the ghost light and trying to move around, it's a bit of a pain. But there was nothing that really distracted me or broke the game for me. On top of the basic controls, the player is given another mechanic in the form of Gooigi. Now, I love how gross Gooigi sounds and looks, and I just like saying the word Gooigi. Gooigi. And this mechanic opens the game up to some very fun puzzles. Need to get through a grate in the floor? Gooigi can fall right through. Perhaps you need to navigate through a floor covered in deadly spikes. Gooigi's got your back. In solo mode, Gooigi can be called out and then be controlled by the player. You can then switch between the two until you call Gooigi back, or you just let him melt in some water, because that's not messed up at all. I thought Gooigi would be an afterthought in this game, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed having him in it. And for co-op play, whoo boy, it is great. But I'll get to that later. So aside from the basic controls in Gooigi, you can interact and essentially break or suck up almost anything in each room. I did not expect this level of detail and stuff to be able to interact with. This will sound really dumb, but there was an odd feeling of satisfaction whenever sucking up or tearing a room apart to uncover any secrets within it. Even things like grass reacting to your vacuum or pulling leaves and curtains down off the walls was just so freaking satisfying. It's weird, I know, but I loved it. One other thing that I found oddly satisfying was the new slam mechanic. Though I can see it making the game a bit too easy for players, I had no problems with it whatsoever. When using slam, you are definitely overpowered, but I kinda liked that. After finishing the game, I realized I enjoyed the, I guess you'd call them battle mechanics? Or ghost hunting mechanics? Anyway, I enjoyed them a lot. There wasn't anything incredibly remarkable about them, but I found them to be fun throughout. Like previous games in the series, there are collectibles to, well, collect. They come in the form of gems and boos, and all ghosts and boos you find and collect are recorded as well. The gems look different on each floor, usually in relation to the floor theme, because, charm and detail. Where the gems are usually found by solving some type of puzzle, hunting down boos is done by tracking with Luigi. He'll begin to jiggle, and the closer you get to a boo, the more he'll jiggle, and you feel this in the controller as well. This was a bit of a slog, honestly. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't such fun either. Maybe if it didn't drag on too long and mess up the flow, because you'd find a boo and then the same boo, you'd have to track him down. Find the same boo, track him down, and do that a few times until you actually got a chance to get the boo. Luckily, there are items to purchase that can help you find boos instead of hunting them. Okay, other than charm, this may be my favorite feature in the game, the multiplayer. Now, it may not be exactly what you think. If you've played Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, then you're probably familiar with Scarescraper. This is an online mode where you join up with other players online to make your way up a tower floor by floor. There's a timer and everyone has to work together, whether splitting up or staying in a group. There are different objectives too, such as collecting all ghosts or collecting all coins, finding toads. I honestly had quite a bit of fun with this, and I had fun with the local play mode as well, Scream Park. Though I don't see myself playing Scream Park nearly as much as Scarescraper, it's a fun addition to the package. It's a local game mode done on the same Switch or other Switches nearby, where teams compete against each other. However, where I was most surprised was the co-op. No joke, my entire first playthrough of this game was done with my son, and it was a great time. The second player assumes the role of Luigi once he is available in the storyline, and I might actually prefer this to playing solo. Some of the puzzles could get a little cumbersome in solo mode, but in co-op, it was all just so fantastic. Both my son and I had tons of fun throughout our experience and enjoyed figuring out puzzles together and communicating to each other. This game is fantastic and was definitely worth my time. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this game has now entered my personal list of Game of the Year. With solid gameplay, fun puzzles to solve, outstanding themes and locales that somehow fit within a haunted hotel, and enough charm to bring a smile to the face of the grumpiest ghost, Luigi's Mansion 3 was a blast to play from start to finish. I just had so much fun with it. The choice to bring back Scarescraper and add in Scream Park are very welcome additions as well, but the story mode in Luigi's Mansion provided a simply fantastic time and a beautiful experience. Okay, I'll shut up now.